In 2010, Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, made a $1 salary despite being worth $10.2 billion at the time. But where did the $10.2 billion come from, you might ask? Well, Steve Jobs earned his money differently than the masses, and it is true. Growing up, you were taught that money is income from job, a salary. If you were looking to get money to buy an item, where would you think of getting it from? Job. Now, there's nothing wrong with earning money this way, but as you know, by working to earn money, you are also being limited by how much work you put in an hourly rate. That is what entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and many others have figured out. And now they make billions of dollars without earning a salary at all. But what did they figure out?
Entrepreneur must know about money, or then they're no longer entrepreneurs. And it says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money. The government will take care of them, the company will take care of them.
Now, how is it that Elon Musk has loads of money without working a job? Well, the first step to understanding money is knowing where you stand financially. To help you out, this is a financial statement. As you can see, there's income, expense, asset, and liability. Okay, but how is this piece of paper ever going to make you rich? Well, you first have to be able to read it. Take a look at a rich person's financial statement. As you can see, there are many assets and the liabilities are very few. The money comes in from assets and is then reinvested in more assets to make more money. Therefore, there is more income but less expenses. Let's now take a look at a poor person's financial statement. Many liabilities, very few assets, which makes the person always busy working for money to pay for all these liabilities. It is as simple as that. The rich focus on assets that produce them cash flow every month, and the poor buys too many liabilities that makes them work harder just to make ends meet. Now you can read your financial statement. Can you see where you stand financially? And more importantly, do you want to change your position? Then, here's how to do it. Increase assets as much as possible and reduce liabilities to be wealthier, just like the rich. That's it. You're telling me to put my money in risky investments that you call asset? Do you know that when investing, your biggest risk is actually not getting educated? Investments are not risky, but investors are, because they handle money and investments without being financially literate. The smart investors make the most money with very little risk because they're educated. It doesn't mean that they don't lose money or make mistakes. They still do, but they also learn from their mistakes in order to get better at investing. You will learn 10 times more when you make mistakes than when you're succeeding. The highest yielding investments require a lot of education and analysis in order to be made. Depending on what you want to invest in, you will need a lot of education. So if you're not yet educated on investing, your best investment is in your education. If you start investing now with no education, you will make mistakes that could have been easily avoided if you just took the time to get educated. Investing is a skill, and to get good at it, you have to consistently be learning and evolving, just like any other skill, and it is a crucial one to grow your asset column.
An asset is a noun, like a house. Cash flow is a verb. So to understand if it's an asset or liability, it takes a noun plus verb. So if the cash is flowing out of your pocket, it's a liability. If the cash is flowing into your pocket, asset, verb, it's an asset.
The most important things about investing are the simplest. Being able to distinguish between an asset and a liability is a fundamental skill for wealth building. And the difference between an asset and a liability all boils down to where it cash flows. An asset cash flows money in your pocket, and a liability cash flows money out of your pocket. So look through your financial statement and reduce what you can that is holding you back financially and add assets to your asset column. Based on our definition of assets, we can classify assets as a stock paying you dividend, asset, a bond paying you interest every year, asset, a rental property that brings you cash flow, asset. Not all assets are created equal though. Investing means different things to different people. Just as there are houses for the rich, the middle class, and the poor, there are also assets for all of them. Investment advisors won't even tell you this because they know that it's more beneficial and profitable for you to learn investing and do it for yourself. If they told you about how to invest for yourself, how do you think they would make their money? It is easy to lure an investment newbie into turning their money over to people and to invest it for them. There's nothing wrong with doing so, but you have to acknowledge that the people you give your money to invest it will be sucking the fees out of it. Giving your money to McDonald's to make hamburgers for you is easier than making a hamburger for yourself. But you and I could probably make a better hamburger than McDonald's for ourselves if we learn how to do it. The rich don't need people to invest money for them because they learn how to invest and they do it for themselves. No one can take better care for you than yourself. It is time to take action for yourself.
Terrified. They're all cowards, you know. Job security. Don't make mistakes. Just memorize the right answer and you'll be safe. And that's why most school teachers aren't rich.
Yeah.
They teach that to your generation.
Yeah. And most of them are teaching us things that they don't do on a daily basis. Like we have entrepreneurship classes.
Most of my teachers were terrified. They're all cowards, you know. Job security. Don't make mistakes. Just memorize the right answer and you'll be safe. And that's why most school teachers aren't rich.
Yeah.
And they teach that to your generation.
Yeah. And most of them are teaching us things that they don't do on a daily basis. Like we have entrepreneurship classes.
Oh!
And they're
Don't get
not
me started.
entrepreneurs, you know? So it's kind of frightening when you think we're relying on the school system.
Oh.
And the fact that they're teaching us, so the way to get through college, right, is practicing all the right answers, taking the exam, putting in all the right answers.
Yeah.
When in real life, that's the last thing that'll ever happen.
These programs here. Because if you're going to be successful, you've got to take some risk.
Yeah.
And when you take a risk, you make a mistake, and you might learn something, because we're supposed to learn from our mistakes. Look at Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer in the world, one of the greatest athletes. He's made a lot of mistakes. You know, he would not be a great golfer sitting in a room listening to a teacher who never played golf tell Tiger how to be a golfer. Say?
Well, I just would want to say that, you know, everybody starts in the same spot. Everybody starts like you started with a one bedroom. I started with a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, also condo, and then but the fundamentals are the same all the way through.
Yeah. What we're going to be talking today is about the process. You see, education is really a process. It's not an answer. It's not a book. Oh, some of you are starting here. Some of you are down here. Some of you are at the other end already. But the point here is this: you don't get it all in one day. You don't get it from a book. So as Kenny said, mine started with a 1 bedroom, 1 bath on the island of Maui, and yours was where?
And mine was in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. So we all start, and the problem is most people don't start. And generally what they say is, I don't have the money and things like this, and it's ridiculous. I mean, we didn't have money either.
When I first got into the business, that's what I really thought you needed. I think that's what holds a lot of people back, and I think they also use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
They say, I don't have the money, therefore I can't start. There's more money than there are deals. That's been my experience now. Once I got the education, then I realized that there's a lot of people, just like ones with money, that are looking for a place to put it.
And what's happening today, and by the way, if you hear some earth-shaking news in the background and all that, is because in that side of our building and that side of the building, they're tearing all those buildings down and putting up more
High-rise apartments, yeah.
And real estate is booming. There's more money than ever before. People are actually giving money back because they can't find deals.
Right.
So much money, you know.
That's exactly right.
Thanks for watching this video. If I gave you value through my content, then subscribe and give a like because it helps my content reach more people to elevate their financial literacy. In investing, education is where it all starts. Learn, then earn. But if you're striving for success, you first have to get your money right. And to do it, it starts by clicking on this video, which gives away a massive secret about how to start investing, and it's very capital for your success financially.